Let's play this here today. Today we're playing ending 2 of the Stanley Parable thing. There's 6 endings. Number 2. Last time we didn't do anything he said. Today we're going to do some stuff that he says. I don't know what's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Seen all this crap. Let's go.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself,
So Tim's there again.
and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude
Tim's still not here. He hasn't been to work in several days. I'm getting worried.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He entered the door on his left. Hello?
Stanley entered the lounge.
You guys hiding?
To find not a single person there. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find.
Are you hiding in here? Ooh. Let's go find my boss.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah. And do what he says.
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this point that he began to feel dizzy and a little sick, and even thought he might pass out when suddenly he noticed a keypad next to the filing cabinet in the corner of his boss's office. Stanley had never seen this panel before and had no idea what combination of numbers would produce any result. In fact, only Stanley's boss knew this, since the panel withheld access to the boss's greatest, darkest secret. And so he had assigned the keypad.
Oh my god.
That only he
it's going to be like the clock time.
The number of his freshman dorm number in college. 1957.
Wow.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Wow.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keyboard, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Completely random buttons.
Amazing. Stanley ventured forth into the newly opened passage. As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long room to find rows and rows of monitors. Screens with a number above it. Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building.
Yeah, 427.
Even his own number, 427,
427.
on the wall. But why is set up so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance, or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth of the situation. An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions. Happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions. Walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV. Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being. And the reality began to sink in. Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's
always
oh my god.
Let's get these buttons.
Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it blindly? He began to feel an unbridled rage, and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine, keeping it alive. And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder in the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters.
This is so weird. I hope this isn't real. Maybe it's a true story.
Stanley climbed,
Maybe the person who
the
made the
closer he
game is the
felt to
boss.
freedom,
He's
the
watching
further
you
from enslavement.
now. Oh no. Let's turn this thing off. His reign of terror is over. I did.
Blackness, power gone, all alone, and then
Whoa.
as he stepped through the door into the fresh outside air, a feeling of liberation rushed through Stanley's body. He had seen power, he had seen enslavement, and he had destroyed it. The underling was in control now. He had found his leading role. Stanley never discovered why everyone had gone missing, nor how and when he had come under the machine's control. But it didn't upset him terribly, because he knew that this was how things were meant to happen. All he felt was a delight unlike any he had ever known before. Never again would he follow someone else's orders without question. Never again would anyone tell Stanley where to go, what to do, or how to feel. No more bosses. No more instructions on a screen.
Stanley decides
for himself now. And he stepped out into the world.
And he felt the cool breeze
upon his skin.
Stanley
was happy.
I like this ending. This ending's nice. Last ending was a bit weird. This ending's nice. Yeah. Hello? I think that's the end. Wait for a bit to see if there's something else. Light. That it? Okay. Well. Thank you for watching. It's been a Blaze. And I will see you in the next video. What's up?